Hey everybody, I'm LoQuid and I'm back for another little video log, or whatever you want to call it. Well, as you can see by the smoother video, I got my machine back fixed. Well, there was really nothing wrong with it. What had happened is I was playing a game on Windows and I got 2 consecutive blue screens of death within 5 minutes of each other. If you don't know what a blue screen of death is, it's very bad. It's when the screen goes black, and then you get a little square anywhere from, I don't know, maybe this big to, taking up your whole screen big, depending on what version of Windows and your drivers and all that other good stuff. Anyway, that's basically saying that you've had a hardware crash and that your computer is going to restart forcibly. It's probably the worst possible error you can get because it screws up all kinds of things. Windows doesn't shut down right. The program you're running doesn't shut down right. Files are left active on your system memory, and they're not stored back to the hard drive properly. Hard drive files are left over here and over here and over here and over here when they're all supposed to be consolidated right there. So it plays havoc with your system. Well, I got 2 of them, and I was able to boot back into Windows just fine. Well, I got a 3rd one, and this one didn't even get back into the game. I was into Windows Desktop when that happened, and after that it wouldn't boot. Now, I have a late 2009 iMac, and I have Boot Camp installed with Windows 7 Professional, so I can't just fix my machine myself. It's not like I can tear the screen off, get in there, dig around, and fiddle with it and figure out what's wrong. It's not like I can pull the hard drive out, put it onto another machine, and zero it out. I can't do any of that stuff because they make these things so difficult to get into. Don't get me wrong, I love my Mac. I love working on it or working with it because the screen is so beautiful, it's so compact, everything's right there, and albeit the Windows side rarely works properly, everything on the Mac side works pretty much flawlessly. So I love it for that. I am a graphic designer by trade, by going to school, so that's why I have the Mac. This is just, until I can get a decent rig built, this is what I use. So I take it to them. They say, well, it's probably a hard drive failure. Well, this would be the, let's see here, 4th time for a hard drive failure in less than 2 years. Well, they say, okay, well, we're going to take it and we're going to look at it. They didn't give me a price, so I turned it in Monday of this last week. So, I don't even know. Let me look at my calendar here and I'll tell you. I gave it to them on the 4th, and I didn't hear back from them until the 8th, and I went and picked it up. They said, okay, should be fine, shouldn't have any problems at all. I get it home, and I spend the last 2.5 days fighting to get things to work, such as my Bluetooth drivers for my keyboard, the video drivers, the audio drivers, whole 9 yards. So anyway, with all that said done, I'm back online. So I'm going to start making videos again. It's Monday, the 11th, Veterans Day, 2013. So I'm about to, as soon as I stop this, re-render it, get it uploaded to VideoTube so y'all can see it, I'm going to start recording some more videos. Now with that, there's going to be a couple problems. And I'll talk about this a bit in my first video that I actually put up, but in the process of my hard drive, basically having to be reformatted completely. They zeroed it out. I lost all my data, all my game saves. Now, I still had the video files that I'd recorded last weekend, or the weekend before this fixed, or whatever, it's confusing. But they weren't that good of videos, in all honesty, because the machine was already starting to have some hiccups and stuff that I didn't realize were hiccups until I went back and re-looked at the videos. So I'm not going to upload those videos. I don't want to give you guys a painful viewing experience. I'm just going to start new videos. Now, as I said, all the game saves were lost. So Terraria, have to start over. Dwarf Fortress, have to start over completely from scratch. Now I've already created a Dwarf Fortress world, I've already created a Terraria world, I just have to enter them and play them for you guys. So with that said, yeah, that's going to happen today. And then I'm also going to start looking at a couple of other games. I picked up a couple more games on Steam. Edge of Space, although it doesn't really run very good on my machine. Keep in mind, all three of these are in early alphas. Well, Edge of Space isn't really in that much of an early alpha. Picked up a side-scroller called King Arthur's Gold, and a Dwarf Fortress clone, I guess you could say, called No Moria. No Moria is really, it's pretty much identical to Dwarf Fortress as the way it plays, with the exception that it is an isometric, three-quarter pseudo 3D view. And if you don't know what isometric means, that means it's a fixed camera position. So you've got your map here, the camera's looking at it like this, or this, or this, or this, or whatever way, and it doesn't move. Now, isometric, or I think that's what I said, you can still move the camera, but it doesn't move dynamically with you and the character. So it's a fixed position that is controlled. It's pretty fun. I've only played about an hour of it, but I'm thinking about maybe showing that on the channel. I can't remember if I said this, but I heard back from Gaslamp Games, and when Clockwork Empires goes into pre-release, from what I understand from their email, I will be getting a press release copy of that, and I will be playing that as best I can for you guys to give you some early footage of that. What else? Picked up Master of Orion 2, well, 1 and 2 from Good Old Games. I picked up Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri and Alien Crossfire from Good Old Games, except I haven't figured out how to get Alien Crossfire to record yet. It will only record like, if I can figure, yeah, it'll only record like this much of my screen. So I've got all of this game space down here that it doesn't record, and it only records this little bit here. So once I get it to record the entire screen, I might put that on the channel. I don't know. Thinking about playing some Rogue Legacy, Sword of Stars the Pit. What else do I have? Let's see. Let me pull up my Steam library here, and I'll list some of these off that I'm thinking about. And if any of these sound exceedingly interesting to you guys to see me play, please feel free to leave a comment and say, yes, 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 I want to see that one. Let's see here. Unepic, which is an indie. Torchlight 1 and 2. Let's see here. What else do I have on here? Xenonauts, which I actually am very highly considering playing on the channel. If you're not familiar with Xenonauts, that is a XCOM and UFO UFO defense, enemy unknown clone. Really, it's basically they took the whole premise of the first game and they modernized it. If you haven't seen videos for it, just search it on YouTube. Xenonauts. It's really easy to find. There's quite a few people that have it up, but it's getting closer to release. And the closer and closer it gets to release, the more and more hyped I get about it, because I'm a huge XCOM fan. I mean, I never played UFO Defense. I never played Terror from the Deep, well, at least until recently anyway. My first foray into XCOM was Apocalypse, which came out in 96 or 97. But I know it was earlier than that. It just feels like that late. I played the UFO games from, what is it? Such as, like Afterlight and whatnot. I played those. I've played the new XCOM Enemy Unknown. I have not played the third perspective. what is that game with anyway, I can't remember the name of the game. It's Mass Effect. It's done in the Mass Effect style, but set in the XCOM world. So if you're a fan of Mass Effect type games, check out XCOM Declassified. It is a fantastic game. It's just not for me. Those kind of games I only like to play on a console, and I'm not going to pay $60 for a game that I'm probably not going to finish. What else do I have? Yes, Shadowrun returns. Shadowrun was a game that was really big in the 90s, both on the Sega Genesis, on the Super Nintendo. It had a huge book following. They put out quite a few books, kind of like they did with Star Wars and the D&D and stuff like that. But originally, it was a role-playing game like Dungeons and Dragons. What made Shadowrun unique was it was set in a futuristic world where basically the D&D world clashed with modern, almost Blade Runner type technology, and it's a really interesting world and universe, and I like it. I love it. It's fantastic. Let's see. I've also got Dungeons of Dreadmore. I've got that. I've got Faster Than Light. I've got Game Dev Tycoon. I've got The Sims, Civilization, Sins of Solar Empire, Don't Starve. What else? Let's see. Legends of Grimrock, and Evoland, and that's pretty much about it that I would want to play on screen for you guys at this moment. So, if any of those sound particularly interesting to you, just give me a shout out. Let me know. More games are coming out. There's what's here? I think Starbound is coming out. I'm interested in Castle Story, so I might be checking that out. So there's a whole bunch in the pipeworks in the next couple of months to a year that are actually really interesting and really fascinating games, both in just their gameplay perspective as well as the story perspective. So I'm going to try and feature some of those on the channel and get those up. So I've rambled on here for quite some time now, so I'm going to sign off on this little thing and go play some games for you guys. So don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave a comment. Talk to y'all later. Peace.